Okay. Hi guys, welcome to Edge tonight. My name's Dustin, and I'm excited that you guys are here tonight. How are you guys doing?
Yeah!
Awesome.
Yeah!
You guys sound excited?
We are so excited.
So, I want to talk to you guys, start off tonight by talking to you guys a little bit about something I struggled with when I was a kid. When I was younger, I was the king of something called procrastination. Procrastination was just something I did when I was younger. I would have a project coming up and be due the next day, and I would sit down and talk with my mom, but hey mom, I need some poster board. And she'd be like, oh okay, cool. What's it for? And I'd be like, well, I got a project that I need to work on. And she'd be like, okay, cool, when's the project due? And granted, this is at like 9 o'clock at night. And I'd be like, tomorrow. And let's just say my mom was not happy whenever I did that, which was pretty often. She would kind of have a fit, and then we'd rush over to Staples or something like that and grab poster board, and then we'd rush back, and then I would do my project at like 10 o'clock at night, finishing it up. And my parents hated this. They did not like that I procrastinated on everything. And another thing that I procrastinated on was not just my school projects. This was kind of a life thing that I did. We'd go on like camping trips and things like that, and my dad would always tell me, hey, pack the night before. Make sure you pack the night before, or else you're going to forget something. And I did not like packing the night before. I was like, I can pack in 5 minutes, the day of, and be totally fine. Why do I have to pack the night before? And I remember one time, we were going to go snowboarding the next day. My dad comes in, he's like, hey Dustin, make sure that you pack the night before. Like, pack tonight. And what he didn't know is that I was playing Mario Kart, and at the time, Mario Kart's more important than packing my bag tonight. That can wait for tomorrow morning. And so I decided I was going to wait till tomorrow morning, because Mario Kart, come on. And I woke up the next morning, got all my stuff together, put everything in my bag, hopped in the car, and we drove off to the mountains. And I was pretty proud of myself. I was like, psh, I got everything. And I did in 5 minutes. Well, we got to the slopes, and I started pulling things out of my bag. I had my goggles, I had my beanie, I had my snow pants, and my jacket, had my board and boots. And I realized I was forgetting my gloves. I forgot my gloves. I don't know how many of you ever skied or snowboarded without snow gloves. It's horrible. My hands were purple by the end of the day, and every time I went down to go like put together my bindings, like my hands just stung. I had the worst day I've ever had snowboarding in my life because I forgot my gloves. And that day I realized I am packing the night before every time before I go on a trip. And the second thing I realized that night is my parents have more wisdom than I do when it comes to these things. For sure. My parents have more wisdom than me. They have been alive a lot longer than me. They have gone through situations like this much more than I have. They have more wisdom than me. And I should listen to my parents. Because, as I found out, when I don't, and they know better, well, I have a horrible day snowboarding. So, my parents have more wisdom than me. But you know, there's someone else who has more wisdom than even my parents, or your guys' parents. And that's God. God has more wisdom than all of us. I mean, He's been around since the beginning of Earth. He created wisdom, and we call Him the all-knowing God. I mean, God knows everything. So, I think it's safe to say God's wisdom is greater than our wisdom. Now, we've been going through Daniel the past couple weeks. And last week we saw Daniel follow God's way instead of his own way. He went after, he ate vegetables instead of the royal food, because that's what God had asked him to do. Now, today we're going to see another example of Daniel and how he followed after God and sought out his wisdom. Now, Nebuchadnezzar was still king at this time, and he was having some dreams, and these dreams were troubling him. You know how you dreams and then you just can't sleep? You just struggle sleeping because there's, like, it's the same dream over and over again, and you don't get it, and it just, like, troubles you? This is what Nebuchadnezzar was having. He was having one of these dreams, and he's just struggling with this dream. He didn't know what it was about, but he kept having it every night. And so he called together his advisors and his magicians and his enchanters and stuff, and he brings them all together, and he's like, alright guys, here's the deal. I've been having this dream. It's causing me some problems. I want you guys to tell me what the dream is, and tell me what it means, and then if you're able to do that, I'll give you a ton of gold, a new house, and all the good stuff. But if you don't, you're going to die. He's a little blunt, but he really wanted to know. And the advisors were like, alright, Nebuchadnezzar, just tell us what the dream is, and we'll let you know what's going on. And Nebuchadnezzar's like, whoa, no. I want you guys to tell me what the dream is, and then tell me what the interpretation is. Because I can tell you what the dream is, and you guys will make up whatever you want, just to make me feel good. And then, so you get all the gold and the new house and all this stuff, and you don't die. He's like, no, that's not how it's going to work. I want you guys to tell me what the dream is first, and then tell me the interpretation. And the chief advisors were just kind of like, and this is actually what they said. They said, there is no one on earth who can do what the king asks. No king, however great and mighty, has ever asked such a thing of a magician or enchanter or astrologer. What the king asks is too difficult. No one can reveal it to the king except the gods, and they do not live among humans. So they're pretty much like, king, no one can do this. And so the king got angry. Nebuchadnezzar sent out this decree to have all the advisors killed. A little harsh, but he was determined to have this dream told to him. And so Daniel finds out, and he's one of the advisors, and so he gets this slip of paper that says, hey, you're going to die by order of the king. And he runs up to the chief commander, and he's like, dude, what happened? Why is he going to kill everyone? And the chief commander tells him, well, he's been having this dream, and none of the advisors could tell him, and he said, if you don't tell me, I'm going to kill all the chief advisors. And so Daniel's like, alright, hold up. Give me 1 day. I got this. And so Daniel goes and he runs home. And the first thing he does is he grabs his buddies and he's like, alright guys, we need to pray. We got to sit down, we got to pray. We're praying for God to let us know what this dream is. So the first thing Daniel does is he prays. He doesn't go off searching for advice from buddies. He doesn't sit there and ponder and think about it for a couple days. He goes straight to God, the source of wisdom, and is like, God, what is this dream? Let us know. And God reveals the dream to him. And so, second, Daniel has the dream. He goes back to chief commander's like, hey, I got it. And then they go to the king, and the commander's like, hey, Daniel's got the dream. He knows what it is. And Daniel sits there, and he says this to the king. He says, no wise man, enchanter, magician, or diviner can explain to the king the mystery he has asked about. But there is a God in heaven who reveals mysteries. He has shown King Nebuchadnezzar what will happen in the days to come. So Daniel explains the dream to Nebuchadnezzar about how his kingdom so great will fall and others will rise. And the giant mountain that came is actually going to be God's kingdom that comes later on. And he explained this to Nebuchadnezzar, and Nebuchadnezzar is just like floored. I mean, he's so excited to find out that what his dream is. But Daniel makes it clear, hey, this isn't of me. Like, God's the one who told me what this dream is about. He's the one who's revealed it to me. And so Nebuchadnezzar gets, he's excited, and so he praises God, and he says, surely your God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings, a revealer of mysteries, for you were able to reveal this mystery. So Nebuchadnezzar was just like, yeah, here God's the one who gives wisdom, the one who reveals mysteries. He's the one who knows all. Now, we're going to come up in a lot of situations in our lives where we're not going to know what to do. And we should follow after Daniel's example. The first thing he did, he didn't go seeking out advice from other people. He went straight to God, straight to the source for wisdom. Because he knew for sure that God's wisdom was greater than his. And I know for some of you guys, you're going through situations now where you have to make some big decisions. Or you're just struggling with things in your life, or there's problems going on. And you don't know what to do. And God should be the first person you turn to. It shouldn't be God saved as a trump card that, like, okay, if my friends don't help me out, if my parents don't help me out, if the youth pastor doesn't help me out, if my small group leader doesn't help me out, then I'll turn to God. No, go to God first. God's the giver of wisdom. God is the one who reveals all the mysteries. God's wisdom is greater than ours. So we shouldn't go looking around for wisdom other places first. He should be the first one we turn to. We should follow Daniel's example and go after God, for his wisdom is greater than ours. So let's go ahead and pray. Dear Lord, thank you so much for your wisdom, Lord. Thank you that you're willing to just give it to us and to help us in every situation that we deal with, Lord. Lord, I pray that we seek after you first and we go to you first for your wisdom and your advice on things, Lord. I know that you know all things, God, and that you love to help us. Thank you so much. In your name, amen.